Hello guys, welcome to a review session. This is of 081001. This was done on the 14th of August, about a week ago, and we're just here to review and link the impressions that are recorded in the sheet in the session with the target itself. Alright, just let's kick into it. I shall read a bit about the target. It is called the Stratosphere Tower. It is in Las Vegas. It measures about 1,149 feet tall. I'll just do a bit of reading from the site. And yeah, it has a 360 degree and 2 levels, observation levels, and it has some activities on the top of the thing itself. It has a bit of a roller coaster, and it also has some insane ride where it spins you around over the edge of the observation deck. Wow, that looks pretty cool. The roller coaster sort of has a straight bit. You hop into it and you drive to the edge, and then you stop. That's called the extreme ride, and let you come back and do it a couple of times, I'm assuming. But yeah, it allows you to look straight down to the ground. And yeah, so this was a pretty interesting session when I did it. And on that note, let's kick off. So here we've got the trace, structures and head felt, small forms, details, cool breezes across hands, felt some detail in hands, some movement in small structures, felt in the face and eyes twitching. Eyes were twitching, details felt. B, so structural forms, small details. 2, breezes, cool. 3, small structures, eye twitching, fluttering. Yeah, my eyes were sort of fluttering, like you know how you're moving in motion, maybe on a bike or something like that, and you haven't got any glasses. My eyes were sort of fluttering like that. I wonder if that was due to maybe one of the rides, or just the breeze that's on top of the mountain, on top of the structure. But I digest. So let's kick into it. Touch 1, structural form. Solid, dense around head, around face. So this felt like it was like a vertical curved bar going through my head from top to bottom. That was it about, really, but I just could feel the denseness coming through, and the fact that it was a structural form and it was curved. Touch 2, what we've got here is, so I've got a picture of my body, and what I felt was sort of space and open feeling. So in front of me, it just felt like it was exposed and open to something. What I've got here, chest opened up, unhindered, exposed in front of me. So yeah, it just felt like something had opened up in front of me. So if I was exposing myself, if I was the target and I could feel all that space, I can link it to that, where you could feel there was nothing in front of you and you just opened yourself up to the atmosphere. Touch 3. What we've got here is just another structural form that I could feel. I've got my body here. Structural support inside chest. I could feel a curve. So there was a structural form going through my chest, and it was curved, and it was going through to the back of me and coming out each side of me. Deep in body, solid, hard, structural, heavy weight resting on thighs. So there was a weight that was resting on my thighs. So as I was sitting here, it just felt like something heavy that was resting on my legs. But that structural form where it was curved, definitely felt that. So if you feel it, write it down. Number 2, texture 1. So structure. So I've got a sort of an image of my face here. Structure, a feeling on face. Left ear is feeling blocked. Yeah, so it just felt like there was more denseness coming through, more structures coming through on my face. No real detail to really apply, just that that side of my face was really dense and had a lot of structure to it. I went on a break for 45 minutes. Texture 2, feel cold outside of body, feel feet cold on top. So my feet were just sort of resting here, and the top of my feet were getting really, really cold, and it felt like they were like exposed to air, or they were wet. You know, it was just really cold just on the top. Texture 3, air feels warm on skin, coolness felt away from skin. So just an example is here I've written, I've got my arm, and on my arm it feels warm all around where it's touching the skin, but as you go further away you can feel the coolness that's penetrating. It feels like a distance away from the warmth. So cool. Let's do the next one, temp 1. More on the feet. So had drawn my feet. Feet are cold and warmth from a certain point upwards on my shins and on my legs. Cool around partial head. So I've got a image of my body and sitting here while I'm doing the session. I've got warmth immediately around my body, and then I've got the coolness. So it's more of a body explanation of this one here, where I can feel the coolness around my body, but immediately next to me I can feel the warmth. Warm layers immediately around body, cold streak up back. Interesting. So here I've got an AOL. I thought it might have been a suit, or an idea of a suit came because the warmth can be exactly on your skin, where you can feel the coolness away from the skin. Temp 2, feel small, sharp, minor pain in ankle. If you feel it, write it down, you never know. Got my head here, cool breeze on side of face. So there felt like a breeze, and it felt like it was coming down because I've got direction of arrows of that breeze coming through. Temp 3. So I've got me sitting down here. Feels like tight clothes around butt. Feet cold. Skin feels rough like material. Okay. Tight pants like. Yeah. So as I was sitting here, it just felt like things were tight around my legs. And so it has a feeling of like tight pants. Tight pants like. Alright. Let's carry on. I don't know how that relates to the rides and everything else. It doesn't really sort of suit that. But yeah, it could be a person on. I don't know. Well, we've got colours. Alright, so we've got dark, white, dark and white. Well, we've got more than dark and white, so what else we got? We've got black, white and yellow. So we've got a bit of yellow on that building as well. Darks, blues, greens, yellows, and yeah, we've got that one of the rides is green. Actually, both the rides has a bit of green in it. And what I've got here is I saw it was almost like a symbol where I saw a circular blue circle, but I had a streak coming off it. It could be like a down view of the tower, and that streak could be one of the rides. It's just really a strong sort of stretch black box shape. Yeah, so as I was doing the black, white, yellow, I saw a black box shape as well. So not really hooking up with anything, but more practice can come through. Smell 1, warm breath, stuffy, hindered, little fresh, cool air, felt. Warm breath, stuffy. Yeah, it felt really stuffy. Like you're breathing in like humidity, something like that. You can sort of feel it. It's not open breeze, warm, blah, blah, blah. It's very much thickness type breath. Smell 2, smelling, stifled air, small, not clear air, like cold breathing mask felt over mouth. So I don't know what's happening there, but more of the stifled air. Maybe there's a pollution issue. Maybe it's smelling the pollution, it's smelling the atmosphere or breathing the atmosphere. As far as the breathing mask felt over mouth or structure, not too sure there. Haven't seen anything. Smell 3, what we've got is my head, and I've got an image or a structure that's felt over my mouth. What I've written here is small area around face, fresh tube air, like, yeah, Interesting. Not sure what that could be. Maybe I'll find out later on. Smell machinery, oil, polyester type smell. So yeah, you can sort of, you smell construction, metal construction. You can smell oil, you can smell things with oil on it. And that's what I smelt, machinery oil. Polyester type smell, you know, it could be clothing, it could be material, building material, not really sure. There's not too much detail here. So let's carry on. Here 1, head feels like warm bubble, area feels coolness of skin, off skin. Got another suit there. So warm bubble, interesting. I could be the target or the tower, and I was just feeling the observation decks. Very interesting. Head feels like bubble. Here 2, slight pressure in ears, like ears covered. Interesting. So I've got something that, yeah, it felt like my ears were hindered, like they were blocked, or you're trying to listen through material, like a wall. Call over mouth, not entirely sure what that could be. Maybe that's a portion of the structure. Not quite sure. But let's carry on anyway. We've got join 1, face covered, left side covering face. So it felt, yeah, it just felt like there was something covering my face. So, you know, we've got the observation decks and the picture of the actual thing. It could be the actual observation decks that I could feel in the structure. In my head is that circular observation deck, both decks joined 2. So I've got me here sitting down, and I'm drawing some structural forms that I can feel. Hot everywhere over body. So yep, it was just hot. Not sure what they could be. Heavy in lap, feels sitting on legs. Yeah. So all I can think, it could be the ride. There's one of the rides which is like one of those towers that shoots up the tower, and maybe I'm being locked into the chair. I'm not entirely sure. Feel coolness outside of heat on body. Very interesting. Snapshot. What I've got here is, like, when I was drawing it, it felt like 2 big screens, and these felt like my legs or my knees, and maybe that's a chair or a console or something. I'm not too sure. But that's what it felt like. It felt like I was looking down at my legs. That could be the tower, it could be the ride. Not entirely sure, but I know it felt very personal and close. Enough for me to draw it that way. Second snapshots, what we've got here is shapes. So what I've got here is, what I had was, there was a sort of a bubbly thing at the top, and had some sort of slants at the bottom, and I saw this big sort of slant coming off it, and it kind of looks like a chair off the rides in a way, and this was just sort of open, exposed sky, so just sort of drew that in. So I'm more inclined to think that these were the chairs of the rides, or the rides themselves. This one here was very much the same. Like, I had multiples of this bubble thing. I had something going back and a long structure going down, and this was the outside of that structure. So I had more of these like mirrored things going down. And when you look at the tower, you've got your 4 foundations to balance the observation deck at the top. Definitely not 4 of them, but definitely picking up a structure. And I'm starting to think that this might actually be the tower itself, or the side of the tower at least. And I can see the structures somewhat, and the long structures coming off the side down there. So yeah, very, very interesting. So boom, next is the matrix. So sensor oils, hot all over, breathing stifled, stuffy, little air suit-like. So yep, just very hot, like I'm wearing a hot suit, but I can still feel the coolness around that heat. Magnitude, open air space, coolness coated in warmth, heat. So this one, yeah, I sort of tried to pick up more extra impressions from this one, where I tried to go beyond the heat and beyond the cold, and all I felt was just open space. So there was nothing surrounding this target, there was nothing around it at all. It was just in space, in the atmosphere rather than in space, by itself. Now when I saw the target, I thought, wow, you know, I could feel the atmosphere around this target going forward, so I was glad about that one. Topological, which is basically shapes. This one just looked like people sitting or a seat. This had slanted walls as well. Slanty walls surrounded by objects, front people. So either one of the rides or people sitting in front of me. I did have a flash. I thought it might have been like those space capsules where people are sitting in those what do you call it, spaceships. They take off on the rockets, and I was in one of those. That was one of the AOLs that was just starting to get stronger, and I tried to suppress it. But yeah, very much slanty. Every time I closed my eyes, all I saw was slanted walls and sort of like seats. And so objects in front, people, subjectives, nervous, hesitant, slowly, and hot. Not really many there. Picked up. I think I was getting quite tired by that point. Energy, hot around me, sweaty even. It was just a lot of heat. That's the one thing that really, really came off out of the session. Excited and active. So looking at those rides and everything else, they were definitely active. I could feel myself getting excited, and my heartbeat was sort of picking up a little bit. You know, I was feeling more alive, more awake. Definitely picking up the situation. So yeah, energy. So what we got is physical here. So when I started off my physical or my drawing, I tried to do multi-level. For some reason, while I was doing my passes, trying to feel the object, I was compelled to go not only across but up. And as I went up, I could feel different layers of structures through my hand. And at the top, I could feel these like details of structures at the top of the model, the top of the target that I was feeling. So I redrew it, and I tried to draw the majority of the shapes that I could feel. So I could feel these long structures in the bottom, sort of the first level, and in the second one I could feel like things inside the second level. Then I could feel another floor. So long structural things, floor, lots of detail, floor, lots of detail, another level, and a lot of things that were on the top. So 1, 2, 3 levels, definitely a tall object that was felt, and hopefully in the future I'll start going upwards rather than just going across at the bottom. But yeah, another sneaky peek into seeing that the target was actually a tall target with things on top. Paraphysical, so everything that isn't physical in the target. So what I've got here is giant space, empty, open sort of in something, giant water tank. Not easy, goes on for ages, out cool. So yeah, this was a build on the magnitude one where I could just feel everything. Like if I was at the top of this thing and I was just looking out and I could just feel the the atmosphere going on and on and on. You know, there was nothing there. I'm over everything. That's what I could feel. Open, empty space. Excuse me. Some concepts: endless, isolated, hot, exploring, quiet. Now, either that's suited up. Looks like suited up. AOL. Okay, symbolics. What I've got here is sort of AOL Earth, but as I was doing it, it was just like all I could see was circular. So either, and that sort of felt like the openness. Now, what was kicking in AOL was a lot more of that space stuff, you know, outer space and that sort of stuff. Maybe I had satellite or on ISS space station or something like that, but I was just seeing curvatures, so I could have been on the top of this bloody thing and looking down over the side, but that's, you know, all I saw was the shape of curvatures going around. One, it's a symbolic and it's tall in the atmosphere. It could still be that, just that your brain just sort of jumps to conclusions. So yeah, good one there. And what we got, PR, personal responses, which is just hot and sweaty. Yeah, I was sweating, and it must be hot there, I don't know. And snapshots, so what I saw was just like windows around me. One big sort of hallway, circular window. Just felt like I was looking at something and looking out at things, and you know, looking at this thing here. It's got a lot of windows, and you know, you can look at it and stuff symbolically. Number two, I saw seats and I saw curves, and I saw consoles or more seat structures. It could be that last picture of the roller coaster ride, that Extreme, and maybe a person sitting in it. So I like those ones as well. You know, I'm picking up something from the site, although not exactly, but as you practice, you get better and you want more from your session. So yeah, that was the session, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on that one. That was a really interesting one. What I'm noticing is there seems to be a bit more detail coming through on sessions nowadays that align to the target. A lot less guesses, but a lot more sort of symbolic stuff coming through. So yeah, it's getting better. On that note, let's end the session, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks very much, guys. See you later.